would you tell the doorman that you about to have something hot and spicy coming through? And I'm not talking about no Uber Eats either.
When I walk through.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, it is simply welcome to my channel, guys. I am Rochelle, and baby, we're about to get tipsy tonight. So guys, I'm rolling out my second installment of Tipsy Talk. This is a series where I talk and you guys get tipsy, but tonight I have some confessions of a bad girl, so I will be having a drink with you. So if you guys want to hear some funny stories, you guys want to get tipsy, and if you guys want to be entertained and learn a little bit more about my background and my bad girl history, then keep on watching. Alright guys, so before we get started, let me show y'all our drink of choice. So tonight guys, we are drinking, I can't pronounce this family, Gibellinio, Gibellinio, something to that effect. This is Bellini, guys. I got this as a birthday gift from It's Okay. I'll make sure that I, tag her channel down below. But guys, she purchased this for me as one of my birthday gifts. I think she might have gotten this from what's the name of that store? Aldo's. So Aldo. No, Aldi. Baby, I've been drinking already, y'all. Aldi, not Aldo. Aldi. But anyway, so y'all know how this thing go. Y'all know that I made some notes on my iPad. So let's get these notes going, girl. Oh, Lord. Okay. So, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I guess I'm gonna start this tipsy talk off where it all started. So guys, so basically, oh Lord, I'm so nervous. Ooh, okay. This first confession happened when I was in the 8th grade. I'm sorry, when I was 8 years old. So I was 8 years old, and guys, my aunt would watch us a lot, because my mom, she worked a lot or whatever. And y'all, my aunt was like the hottest chick in town. Baby, my aunt had now I'm finna tell y'all gonna know a little bit about my age when I say this. I don't know who's out there who remembers the Houston Oilers, which was this was our football team before the Texans. And so guys, this was so like a million years ago. So girl, my auntie used to have all the dudes from the Houston Oilers calling the house or whatever. I mean, it was a lot, baby. She had a lineup or whatever. But my aunt was also very selective, and so my aunt was gorgeous. She attracted a lot of men. Her body, y'all, she was bad. My auntie was like the Beyonce before Beyonce, or she was like the Pam Grier of Houston. My auntie was bad, baby. My auntie used to have all these like fur coats, like blue fox fur coat, real like blue fox fur coats. And back in the days, guys, when I was a kid, it was not a big deal if you had real fur. In fact, when I grew up, that was the only option. You didn't have the synthetic fibers and stuff that we have now. So if you had fur when I was growing up, it was real fur. But anyway, I digress. So baby, my auntie used to have on them fur coats. She used to have on them chick jeans, the Jordache, like all the hottest stuff or whatever. She had like, I think my auntie had like an open face. Baby, my auntie was so fly at the time. She had an open face gold tooth. Like, and that was like, you had an open face gold tooth, you was that girl. So anyway, girl, so she used to watch us and stuff when we would, when we would get home from school or whatever. And so one time I went to school and it was this boy at school. His name was Jerry. Jerry had like a little crush on me, and y'all, he was like such a nice little boy or whatever. And he used to do little stuff for me, like giving me lunch money and just doing, y'all know how little boys, if you guys have little boys, y'all know how they be at a certain age or whatever. So, oh, this wine is good. So anyway, one time Jerry came to school and he had some Girl Scout cookies. He had some Thin Mints. And so he came up to me and he was like, you know, you want some Girl Scout cookies? And I was like, yeah. And I was just trying to be polite and stuff. And so he just, you know, he like handed me the package or whatever. And of course, all I took out of the package was 3. And so, you know, we was cool or whatever. So when I went home, I was like so excited. I was so excited. And I was like, Annie, this boy gave me some cookies or whatever. And she was like, oh yeah. And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, well, how many did he give you? And I was like, well, I took 3. Like basically I let her know that the only amount that I took was 3. And then I gave him the package back. So I was like, yeah, I took 3, and then I gave him the package back. Girl, my auntie was like, you know, she was like, let me see your hand. And so she was like, basically, hold your hand up. Like, she was all aggressive and stuff, girl. So wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. So y'all, let me show y'all how she did. So my auntie was like, she was like, hold your hand up. So I held my little hand up. Y'all remember, I was only 8 years old. And then so she took her hand and she held it up. So I had my hand up like this and she had her hand up like this. And then she was like, open your fingers as wide as you can. And so then like she did her hand like this. And so then I did, you know, I did my hand the same way. And then she was like, and she basically held her hand up like this, and she was like, when you go back to school tomorrow, if he offer you some cookies again, you take as many as you can. You take your hand, and she was like, take your hand, open your hand up as wide as you can, and you take as many as you can. You don't leave nothing on the table. Anytime a man offers you something, you don't leave nothing on the table. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay. So girl, the next day when I got to school, the little boy, Jerry, he was like, hey, you want some cookies? Like basically asking me again if I wanted some Girl Scout cookies. And by this time, like overnight, baby, I had turned into a pimp overnight just because of that little speech she had gave me or whatever. And so I was like, yeah, you know, like, yeah. And so, baby, he handed me them cookies. And I think this time he just thought I was going to be polite like I was, baby. I did exactly what my auntie said. I took my entire hand like this. And I literally took as many as I could or whatever. And so I was out, and the little boy just looked shocked because he was like, dang, she took almost all of my cookies or whatever. And so when I got home that the next day after school, I told my auntie, I was like, Auntie, he gave me some cookies again. He offered me some cookies again. She's like, oh yeah? How many did you get? And I was like, I took all of them and I left him 3. Y'all, my auntie went crazy. She was like, that's my niece. That's my motherfucking niece. And then she started like cussing and like going crazy. And y'all, she was like, she was like beating me, not beating me like to whoop me, but beating me in my back. And so it was like, I was like, this is my back and this is me facing her, whatever. So y'all, she was like, that's my niece. That's my motherfucking niece. And y'all, she started like beating me like yeah, like giving me dap like, yo, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. She started so she started doing all of that and going crazy. Remember, y'all, I was only 8 years old, and I had never been like celebrated like that. Yeah, my mama would be like, oh, you did good in school, you know, I'm gonna get you something or whatever. And so after that, I was on my savage shit. So yeah, girl, that was like the beginning of me being, you know, a little 8-year-old pimp. So that's the confessions of a bad girl. Number 1. So let me see what else I have on here I want to tell y'all. So basically all of this stuff happened when I was in the 2nd grade. So girl, after my auntie was like over celebrating me, it was like that's my niece or whatever, I was like, man, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a man. I was like, shit, I'm a man. But anyway, so girl, I just started like, I don't know, I just started acting bad because I just thought like, you know, So like for me being 8 years old and to get that type of recognition and that type of celebration, I was like, well shit, let me see what else I can do that I can be rewarded for like that. So girl, y'all, I started forging my mama's signature, girl. So I started like, when I would get my grades started to go down, because all I was focused on, I don't know, it was like a high. All I remember was the day she celebrated me, and I just kept wanting that high. So girl, my whole focus was just on pimping the boys at school, getting what I could get, because I just wanted to be rewarded like that again. So anyway, girl, I started getting, girl, them grades dropped. I started just forging my mama's signature. And so one time I went to school or whatever, and so the teachers pretty much had figured out that they knew. I mean, come on now, in the second grade, you don't have the best penmanship. And girl, so I had this one teacher, Miss McNamara, and I remember her saying, she was like, I don't know, I just remember her saying, look at her. Her hair isn't even combed, and just saying all that, girl, I don't know, just saying all of this crazy stuff or whatever, because she was mad that I had been forging my mama's signature. So yeah, girl, so that's another bad girl confession. I started a life of crime and forgery. Girl, y'all, this the one right here. So y'all, I had another aunt, and this aunt, she was kind of just more laid back. My Aunt Wilma, she was just more laid back or whatever. She wasn't like all crazy. And like, when my auntie Sharon was not, she's not crazy. She just like have a lot of energy, and she just knew, like, she just had a lot of game. My other aunt, she was more laid back or whatever. So girl, one time my auntie had went to the grocery store. My Aunt Wilma had went to the grocery store or whatever. Girl, so she bought all of this food, like designer food. I'm not talking about like no Kroger's brand. She bought designer food. So baby, my auntie was getting ready to go to church, girl, y'all. She bought strawberry ice cream. She had like Sprite, just all the good stuff or whatever, girl. So she was upstairs getting dressed, and she was like, well, you know, Shelly, you're gonna, because that's my nickname in my family. She was like, Shelly, you're gonna have to go home because I'm getting dressed and I'm gonna be leaving for church, and y'all, like, within the next 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, auntie. So girl, my auntie was upstairs, and I knew she had bought all of that food or whatever. Baby, please. I was like, okay, bye, auntie. So y'all, I literally pretended that I left. So what I did, I ran to the door, I opened the door, and then when I opened the door, I was like, bye, auntie, and then I closed it. But girl, baby, why did I run and I hid in the closet, waited for her to leave, ate all, like, not everything, but I made me a bowl of ice cream, I made me a cup of Sprite. Girl, I was just in there eating. I was eating. And so anyway, after that, I just basically washed the bowl out and stuff. But y'all, wait a minute. Let me tell y'all how dumb I was as a kid. So instead of me just leaving, like walking out the front door, instead of me just like, after I ate all the food and put everything back or whatever, girl, why did I climb out the window? I don't even know to this day, like, why would you climb out the window when I could have just easily walked out the door? Because back then we had the door where you push the lock. You push the inside of the lock, and then you close the door and it's locked. But anyway, girl, so I wasn't thinking. I just literally left the house, not jumped out the window, but climbed out the window to get out the house. So that's another confession, y'all. So I was a pimp, I was a burglar, I was a scam artist, I did forgery, girl. I was something else. I can't believe that I'm the woman that I am today. I was so bad. So y'all, when I was a kid, my mama used to buy us Barbie dolls for like Christmas and for our birthdays and stuff like that. And so she, you know, she would buy us Barbie dolls and stuff, but girl, we would always cut the Barbie doll hair off. We would always cut all of their hair off or whatever. And then I would take like some tweezers, and I would like whatever, like, cause when you cut a Barbie doll hair off, it's still spiky. So I would take some tweezers and pull all the spiked hairs out, and then I would take a black marker and I would make the Barbie doll have finger waves or whatever. And then when I would get tired of her having finger waves, I would go to like Walgreens or go to like a big grocery store like Kroger's or Safeway or whatever grocery store was in the area. And baby, I would go in that thing, and baby, I would steal me about 10 Barbie doll heads. I would just go in there and I would open all the Barbie doll boxes, and I would just steal like 10 heads, and then I would just go home and have a brand new Barbie. Y'all, this one is again me just being a bad girl, y'all. So when I was in high school, and this is not like a story I'm super proud of, but you know, it's just a part of my past. So y'all, when I was in high school, my sister, you know, y'all, my sister was, we was both bad, but my sister was a little bit worse than I was. So, girl, my sister used to, like, wait until, like, 11 o'clock at night, sometimes 9, 10, just really late at night, on the school night. And she used to go and she used to steal this lady car. And so she would steal this lady car every night, but then she would always make sure she took the car. She would always make sure she took the lady car back, you know, in enough time. So, you know, when the lady woke up to go to work, the car would be back. So, girl, some kind of way. So she would call me and my best friend and be like, I got the car, or whatever. So we would be waiting, you know, getting dressed, or if we were not always, because she would be like, yeah, I'm gonna try to get the car tonight. So she'll call and be like, I got the car, or she'll come home and be like, I got the car. So, baby, we'll be dressed already, so we would just be going joyriding throughout the city in this lady's car. So, girl, and the rumor pretty much got out to not the lady, but to her daughter, that basically my sister had been stealing her mama car. So, girl, she had confronted my sister, girl, y'all. Her and my sister ended up having a fight. Well, then her mama, like, tried to, like, fight my sister. And, y'all, I'm not a fighter or whatever. But, girl, when that lady came out, girl, y'all, she came out of that house like a big raging bull, y'all. That lady, she just looked like a big raging bull coming out of the house. So she tried to, like, jump my sister, baby. I had to jump in and fight that lady. I'm not proud of it, but I had to jump in and fight that lady so her and her daughter would not jump my sister, y'all. This lady came outside with a perm, like a dark and lovely perm in her hair, and smoking a Newport cigarette, trying to fight my sister. So I jumped in or whatever, and y'all, this lady, she literally, y'all remember them salt and pepper hairstyles? Like, I had one of those salt and pepper hairstyles, like the stack. Girl, y'all, this lady, like, picked me up, like, by one of my little layered pieces in my hair, and was like pick me up. I was literally off of my feet, and y'all, I was fighting that lady. I was fighting her so hard, like, trying to like get her off of me or whatever. Girl, y'all, I fought that lady in her house, like, literally in her house, all the way to her kitchen sink. Baby, I was about to wash that perm out for you, girl. So, yeah, girl, so that was all my sister's fault, because had my sister not stole the lady's car, then we would not have been in that situation. So, yeah, so that's confession number, girl. I don't know, because I'm starting, this wine starting to get to me. I had this friend, and, you know, me and this girl, we met at work or whatever, and we kind of like trauma bond. Y'all don't be out here doing these trauma bonds. And so we had kind of bonded over the fact that we both struggle with our weight and stuff like that. And we both bonded over the fact that we was both like the safe friend. You know, the girl who watched the purse while the other fine friends go dance. We was the friends that sat back in the club in the dark and watched the purses, you know. And so anyway, girl, we ended up trauma bonding over there. So we became fast friends. And y'all, for the most part, y'all, she was a nice girl. So, she was a nice girl or whatever, don't get me wrong. But she used to kind of be a little bit bossy, a little bit controlling. And I kind of noticed that early on in the friendship, but I never said anything. I was just like, whatever. And so, and that's because, y'all, I grew up with two older sisters or whatever. And so, you know, my older sister, she was kind of bossy and stuff. So I was kind of used to, like, you know, people, you know, being bossy or having bossy female friends. And so it just wasn't a big deal to me or whatever. And so, girl, as time went on, it's like she just got worse. And so, y'all, we would go out and stuff or whatever. And with me, like, I'm cool or whatever, but I don't like dudes touching me. Like, I'm cool until you start trying to touch me or whatever. So we would go out and the dude would be like,
yo, what's up, little mama? Let me put a bug in your ear.
And, you know, be trying to, like, touch me all on my waist. And I would just, like, move and be like, y'all, you know, like, don't touch me. So, y'all, when we would leave the club or whatever, she wouldn't say anything, but she would wait until the next day. And she would call and she'd be like,
chick, I need to talk to you.
And I would be like, you know, yeah, what's going on? So, y'all, she would literally have a progress report of how I behaved at the club. And she'd be like,
well, the way that you looked at that dude, you know, I ain't like that. You know, when we went out, you made the ugliest face.
And so, girl, she would just be be giving me a progress report of all of the stuff that I did and what she didn't like and what I shouldn't do. And y'all, it was just terrible. It would just be constant or whatever. Or either like when we would go to the gym, if I had my hair down, because my natural hair at the time was really, really long or whatever. So she would just like, we would be getting dressed and then I would just take all my hair and just put it up in a high ponytail. But because I had longer hair, it would still, you know, be sweeping my neck. And she'd be like,
shit, you need to put your hair in a bun. You need to put your hair up in a bun because you don't want sweat to break your ends off.
And so of course it was again not a big deal. And I would just do it or whatever. And then it would be other times when we would go out. Now the thing about me, like, yeah, I don't like when dudes touch me, but if I meet a dude that I like and I want the touching to go on, then I'm gonna initiate the touching. So girl, we had went out one night and I met this dude, y'all. He was fine. I ain't gonna lie, baby, he was fine. So girl, you know, I was sitting in his lap and stuff. Girl, so why she called me the next day?
I need to talk to you. You shouldn't have been sitting in that dude's lap. You shouldn't have been doing all this.
Like, it was just constant. And so girl, one time she decided that she wanted to like have like a little, I'ma call it a gang. To me, I'ma say it was a gang or whatever. And so she was like, and then so she tried to change the construct of the way that the friendships was. And she was like, well,
shit, the way that the friendship is gonna go now, you know, when we see each other, we gon' hug. When me and my friends see each other, I want us to hug like how on the white shows. Like
basically she was saying like when you watch white television shows like 90210, when they see each other, even though they just hung out yesterday or last night, they hug each other. They're like,
hey, Brenda. Hi, Brenda. How are you?
And then they give each other a hug. And she was kind of like, that's how she wanted our friendship to be. And y'all, I ain't necessarily with all the touching and stuff or whatever. And so then she was like, well, I'm
gonna start a girl's like, I don't know, empowerment group.
And I was like, okay, that sounds fun. So girl, she basically took all of her friends and like sat them down and gave them like all of the like the characteristics of their personality and things about their personality that she did not want to bring into the like the gang. And so I guess it was my turn with Chick.
I need to talk to you. So when we start this women's empowerment group, this girls empowerment group, it ain't gonna be no laughing and telling no jokes and stuff. And
I was like, what? But that's just a part of my personality. Like, I don't try to be funny. I can just be funny at times. So girl, yeah, she was just telling me like, yeah,
it ain't gonna be no laughing or no joking or nothing like that. We just gonna sit around in a circle. I'ma get a lot of candles.
And she's talking about, I'ma get a
lot of candles and I'ma get some nice like shag
hugs or whatever. And we're gonna sit around and we're gonna like basically, I don't know, like encourage each other, empower each other or whatever. And so girl, I guess like my personality was too jovial or whatever. So girl, I didn't get like, so she chose all of her friends and she wanted to be in a group and I was not one of them. So I didn't get to be in a group or whatever. But my thing was just like, how you gonna like tell me I can't be myself? So girl, after that, some time went on and I was still cool with her. And I don't know, I'm trying to think, one day she called me and I can't remember. I think she called me and she was like,
shit, I need to talk to you.
And I cannot remember. Oh, she needed to talk to me about an incident that had happened at the gym. So long story short, girl, I was at the gym one day and I guess I was on the treadmill or whatever the little machine thing was. She was next to me and a lady came up to me and now she didn't come up to my friend. She came up to me to my
excuse me, how much longer are you gonna be on the treadmill?
And so I looked back at her and I was like, as long as it takes. So I seen my friend like do one to like give me the little side eye like that. And so I was just like, no big deal after that. So girl, y'all, she called me the next day. Shit,
I need to talk to you. I don't like how you had dealt with that lady at the gym. Did you not think that
so I was like, well, did you not think it was rude that someone randomly came up to me and asked me how much longer I was going to be on the treadmill? That was rude. And so basically, I guess she wasn't used to me talking back or whatever. And so we kind of got into it, like we kind of went back and forth or whatever. And that was really my first time just kind of standing up. Girl, that day, the Capricorn was Capricorning. Y'all, I don't know what it is about me. I can be cool. I can be cordial. You can even say some little stuff I don't like here and there. But it gets to a point, and it takes me a long time, a periodically long time to get to the point where I just lose my shit. And so I don't know what happened this day, but baby, like I said, this Capricorn right here was Capricorning. She called me with that bullshit, and baby, I lost it on her ass. And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all how to clear a bitch, okay? This how you clear a bitch. When somebody keep messing with you and shit,
I need to talk to you about how you was acting.
so this how you clear a bitch. You don't talk about they looks, how they dress, they hair. Don't do none of that, cause that's y'all. That's the 80s. That's 80s. Don't nobody do shit. That's not how I clear a bitch. What I do is, if we ever have to get to it, I'm not gonna talk about your hair, your clothes, your shoes, cause that's whack. Nobody does that. I'm gonna talk about your character. I'm gonna talk about you manipulative. I'm gonna talk about how duplicitous your ass is. I'm gonna talk about how cutthroat you are. I'm gonna talk about your character, because that's gonna stick to you a lot longer than me talking about your track showing or whatever. I mean, I can't even really think of nothing, because that's not how I read. I don't read like, girl, she was fat. I don't read nobody like that. You can't clear nobody like that, but you can clear them when you talk about that character. So baby, I read her ass down. I read her down, baby. I talked about her character. I talked about how manipulative she was, how duplicitous she was. Baby, your girl was crying. You ain't never talked to me like that. I can't believe, like, she couldn't believe I was talking to her like that. Oh well. And that's what happens when the Capricorn start Capricorning. So she had that read coming. So anyway, I don't know if that's a confession of a bad girl, but she had it coming. Y'all, I'm pretty sure that I had your girl in therapy every Wednesday for the next 20 years. And that's that on that. This last confession, this is the one now. I don't particularly know if this is a bad girl confession. Well, I guess this is a bad girl confession. So y'all, this the one right here. So y'all, I had met this guy. Yeah, he was, I ain't gonna lie, he was a good looking dude. So I met this dude. Well, at the time that I met him, I was in a relationship. And I just remember, like, when I met him, he was very, very attractive. He was very well dressed. And I think I was at the grocery store or whatever. And when he seen me, he was like, God, you are beautiful. And I was like, oh, you are handsome. And so y'all, and so then he was like, do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, yeah. So it's like, literally, we just kind of stood in the middle. It felt like wasn't nobody else in the grocery store at that point. Y'all, we just stood in the grocery store and just kind of like stared at each other. We was like this. So we just kind of stared at each other or whatever. But that was pretty much it, because when I'm in a relationship, I'm very loyal. So I don't cheat. So girl, after that or whatever, you know, he went his way and I went my way. And y'all, I always wondered what happened to him. I just always wondered, like, whatever happened to that dude or whatever. And so after, like, maybe, girl, I don't know, it was some years later, like, I was completely out of my relationship. It had been a while. I think I had been out of my relationship for about 2 years at this point. So I was out one night at this restaurant and I ran into him, and baby, y'all, this dude, I ain't gonna lie, oh, he was so sexy. He had gotten even sexier. Y'all. He was so fine. And not only was he fine, girl, he was dressed so well. Oh, he was sexy. So y'all, he had on like some type of like Halston belt. He was just some slacks. Y'all, he was sexy. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, I seen him that night, and baby, our eyes met, and he immediately knew who I was. I immediately knew who he was, and we was just like, you know, he spoke, I spoke, or whatever. And so, you know, he was talking real slick and stuff or whatever. We exchanged numbers. We caught up, and we caught up and stuff. Well, by the time we caught up, you know, he was doing pretty well. You know, he was doing good. I was doing good or whatever. So we went on a couple of dates, you know. And then, we had did, some sex and stuff or whatever. And then I think after that he ended up moving to Austin. So he ended up moving away to Austin, whatever, and then we lost touch or whatever. Well, then he moved back to Houston, and guys, when he moved back to Houston, I had ran into him again. And so when I ran into him again, I don't know, I guess that's just like the 8-year-old player in me. I was kind of like, yeah, like I had already kind of knew what he was about. It wasn't, I don't know. I was like, I kind of know what this dude about or whatever. And so anyway, we ran into each other, but it just didn't stick, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. We exchanged numbers and stuff, and he would hit me up occasionally. I would hit, like just to text or whatever, but it would never like it result in a date, because I think I had already been like, like I already know what this dude is about. I don't know, I don't really know how to explain it. So girl, I don't know, it wasn't that I just knew that it wasn't gonna be nothing. I guess that's the best way to explain it. So baby, so one of them nights had came, and I was like, man, I need to, I need to call somebody. And so, I went through my phone and stuff, because at the time, I wasn't really dealing with nobody. So I went through my phone and I seen his number, and I was like, let me call this dude up or whatever. So I called him up, and I was like, in my most sexy, seductive, automated system voice, I was like, hey, how are you? What are you doing? And then he was just like, oh, this is a nice surprise. Y'all, by the way, he was a nerd. He was he was sexy. He was a nerd though. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing wrong with nerds, guys. I'm sexy, but I'm a nerd as well. But anyway, so he answered the phone, and he was
just like, oh, well, this is a nice surprise. This is a nice surprise.
And so I was like, yeah, so, I said, I miss you. I want to see you. I was talking all seductive like that or whatever, and he was like,
oh, that would be nice.
And so we had basically decided that we would see each other, y'all. So by this point, guys, he had a great job, by the way. This guy had an amazing career. He was a forensic accountant for the IRS. So he had a great job. Well, and then he had also gotten into doing Airbnbs. And so, y'all, he was doing really well for himself. And so, by the time by all of this time had passed, when he moved back to Houston, girl, he was staying in these really nice, like, mid-rises, not exactly high-rises, because I think maybe where he stayed only had like 14 floors, so it was more or less like a mid-rise loft or whatever. And so, y'all, he gave me his address and stuff or whatever, and so I pulled up, I was like, oh, okay, this fool, okay, he doing good, so I was getting all excited and stuff. And so basically I had I had called him from my car or whatever to let him know that I was downstairs or whatever. So he was like, ooh.
Okay, I'm gonna come downstairs and meet you.
And so I was like, okay. And so anyway, so he came like to the lobby area or whatever. So I parked my car and stuff, and then I had walked to the lobby area. So he met me at the door of the lobby. Guys, again, he lived in a mid-rise, but they had like, you couldn't just walk in there and just go to somebody, they either had to like tell the front office guy or whoever, y'all know how I go, that you coming up there. So instead of him going through all of that trouble, he came down and he met me or whatever. So first of all, y'all, it was like 12 o'clock at night, y'all. And by the way, y'all know I hadn't seen this guy in a while. This was kind of, I'm not gonna say this was after the panorama, because the panorama is still going on, but just know that it was around the time after we thought the panorama was gonna go away. So anyway, girl, y'all, he came downstairs, and mind you, I did tell y'all he was all fine, he was sexy. Girl, he came downstairs. Now, mind you, it was 12 o'clock at night. This fool had on like a powder blue blazer, a powder blue tweed wool blazer with a white t-shirt, some jeans, and some chucks. Like, he was dressed down. And I was looking like, why this fool got this on or whatever. And so anyway, he came and got me and stuff. But the guy that was like at the front, like the guy that works in the front reception area, whatever. Like, I guess him and the guy knew each other, or either he told the dude, like, yeah,
I'm about to have company.
or whatever. So y'all, it was so uncomfortable. So this dude was just kind of looking all like, he was just looking like, yeah, you guys have fun. You guys are like you guys. I can't even do the face right. He was just like, yeah. You guys have fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, like yeah. Have fun. Like, and so something to me was like, girl, this dude done told the damn doorman that y'all finna go do something. It's not like, I was like, oh my God. So the doorman was looking on like, you know what I'm saying, looking on like, you know, like, yeah. And so I'm like, this nigga done ran down here and told the doorman, like, he must ain't had nothing going on in a long time. Like, obviously this fool ain't had sex in a long time. Because why would you tell the doorman that you about to have something hot and spicy coming through? And I'm not talking about no Uber Eats either. And so, girl, I immediately felt uncomfortable. And so anyway, we get upstairs to like his loft or whatever, and he had it fixed up like all nice and stuff or whatever. But girl, like, y'all remember the powder blue tweed jacket he had on, girl? So again guys, this was still during when we thought the pandemic was gonna wind down. And so I guess he had been working from home and stuff, and he hadn't had an opportunity to go to the gym and all that kind of stuff. Girl, that fool took that jacket off, and it was just like, it just looked like, once he took the jacket off, it was like a can of biscuits. Like, you know how a can of biscuits just explode, they just expand. It just looked like his body just expanded. It just looked like his body just unfolded the minute he took the jacket off. And I was like, oh my God, this is not the same sexy fine dude or whatever. And then too, he had like these like mannerisms that he had picked up from somewhere, or maybe he had always had it, where he always did. I don't know, maybe these was mannerisms he always had and I just never noticed it. So girl, let me show y'all how, like, so we was sitting down or whatever. I was sitting down like on one couch, so we was sitting across from each other. So he was sitting on one couch, I was sitting on the other couch or whatever. So we was just trying to catch up and get acquainted. And so I was telling him like what had been going on with me and stuff like that. And you know, sometimes I talk with my hands. So I was talking and whatever. And then he was just like, and so when I would say something, he would say something. And I'd be like, yeah, I've been interviewing. And he like,
yeah, I've been interviewing.
So it was like he was mocking me. Every little thing that I did, he did. And so it's like, if I crossed my legs, he would be like, you know, he would just copy off of me. And I was just like, this dude then got, like, the panorama then drove this dude crazy. So anyway, girl, so he was sitting there after he had took the jacket off. And then I was just like looking at him, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't want to do anything with this guy. Like, I just was like completely turned off. I didn't want to do nothing with him. I didn't want this dude laying on top of me. I just didn't want to do nothing with him. Baby, I was like thinking like, how am I going to get myself out of this? How am I going to get myself out of this? Baby, let me tell you something. I literally, so at this point, mind y'all, I got there at 12. At this point, we didn't set up and talk to him. And y'all, he was a nerd. And because he was a nerd, he didn't have no game about himself. He didn't know how to be like, bring your ass over here. You know, he didn't have none of that, you know, bravado that he needed to make shit happen or whatever. So I knew I was in control. You know, I was the one that made the phone call. I was the one that was like, I want to see you. I was the one who was in control or whatever. So girl, I was like, I don't want to do nothing with this dude. He pissed me off, and then I just wasn't attracted to him. So girl, please, I was just sitting there, and like when he was talking, I was just looking at him. And baby, let me tell you, the only thing that started with a D that I had on my mind was some damn donuts from Shipley's. And so I was like, how am I gonna get out of this? And I'm like, shit, you a pimp, baby. You been a pimp since you was 8 years old. So girl, yeah, I literally just got up from the couch, I put my flip-flops on, and I left. I pretty much left, but then he's like, well,
if you're gonna leave, at least let me walk you out.
So then he walked out, like, and it was crazy because when he walked me out, he was the one who had the walk of shame. And so basically the doorman was still there looking like, yeah, so did you kids have fun? Did you kids have fun? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Just at the front door waiting or whatever. And so he was just walking like with his head down. So at this point, the doorman knew like he hadn't gotten lucky or whatever. And so girl, please, I left that fool left his house or his mid-rise. Baby, I got in my car and y'all, this was like at this point maybe like at 4:15 in the morning. Y'all, I drove to like 4 Shipley's looking for some damn Shipley's donuts. So baby, when I say I wanted the D, I'm not talking about the D you think I am. I was talking about some donuts. The only thing I had on my mind when I got there, and that nigga started irritating me, and I looked at him, and when he took that jacket off, all of them, that body just expanded. I was like, okay, the only thing I want to do right now is get some donuts and get in my bed. So that was that on that. All right, guys, so this is going to conclude this installment of Tipsy Talk. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this Tipsy Talk because, baby, yet again, I am tipsy. So guys, if you did enjoy this Tipsy Talk, if you have not had an opportunity to subscribe, please do so now. Also guys, make sure that you hit the thumbs up and make sure that you share this video, and I will see you in the next one.
Designer head to toe, I sit to the head and flow. Already been the poke, niggas too scared to go.